The death toll from Michael continues to rise today. 5 people in Virginia have died, raising the number to at least 11 killed in 4 states. Michael was the most powerful hurricane to ever hit the Florida Panhandle. Nearly 1.5 million homes and businesses are still without power. Thousands of emergency workers have gathered to help with the recovery process.
Now, as many southeastern cities begin to assess the damage, the storm system has moved north, bringing heavy wind and rain to parts of the Northeast. CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca is in Mexico Beach, Florida, a place officials are calling ground zero.
Entire cities along Florida's panhandle are unrecognizable. Homes and businesses ripped from their foundations, trailers split open and tossed aside like toys, and a coastline carved up by relentless surging waves.
I never in my life would I ever dream that I would go through something like this.
Help is arriving. Rescue teams with dogs searched what was left of Mexico Beach, combing through piles of debris stacked 20 feet high.
This area is not going to be back to normal for a long time.
Danny Simon is with the Louisiana Task Force 1, an emergency response team that just finished a 17-day deployment in the Carolinas after Hurricane Florence. You see something like this, can you compare it to anything you've seen?
What we're standing in right now is what Katrina did to New Orleans.
Nearly 300 people here stayed behind to ride out Wednesday's storm. Many are still unaccounted for.
My son, Chad Olson.
Where is he?
He was in Parker, and I heard that his roof collapsed.
Have you heard from him?
No.
No cell phone, no way to get a hold of him.
No.
In Port St. Joe, Jim Parker and Carol Geiger returned to this after evacuating last minute. Geiger isn't ready to give up on their home, even if it means pitching a tent next to where it once stood. You're willing to stay out here until you can rebuild?
You got it.
Or get a new trailer?
Got it.
On the ground here in Mexico Beach, we want to give you a little bit of a perspective of some of the damage that we are seeing. Back behind us, those are some homes. They're still standing, but they had damage that's pretty significant. Windows broken out, parts of the roof that were peeled off. This pile of rubble, this is several different houses that were basically pulverized and pushed this way. We want to take you up in the air with our drone to give you a little bit more perspective about where this pile of rubble came from. These homes used to be oceanfront property. They're nowhere near this area. This is a highway they're actually pushed onto. Back behind us, though, you can see that is the oceanfront property several hundred yards back. Some of the homes that are still standing have significant damage. The roofs are ripped off. A lot of them pushed off their foundation or stripped off their foundation because of the 155-mile-per-hour winds, because of the 12 to 14-foot storm surge that pushed through here and basically bulldoze all of those homes. Now, back here on the ground here in Mexico Beach, the FEMA administrator, Brock Long, was telling us that not only are crews coming back in here, but they're also doing some search and rescue missions still today because an estimated 320,000 people in the region rode out the storm. Some people are worried that the death toll could go up. Early looks at some of this damage, because mind you, they're still serving it by land and by air. Early estimates right now, about $8 billion in damage. Don, Vlad?
Omar Villafranca, thank you very much.